We're here with Chris Evans and Ellen Middaugh, who, together with Elizabeth Soep, who's not here with us today, will be presenting a panel at DML 2016 on information, imagination, and action entry points for participatory politics. So I know that all three of you have been involved with civic education, particularly with youth. So, what can we look forward to with your panel?
Well, I'm really excited about the panel. I think Lissa Soep is doing really incredible work at Youth Radio Interactive, and Ellen, who I've worked with for many years, is doing really interesting work with media literacy in a civic context. And what's exciting and interesting to me, and what I'm excited to share with people, is that these experiences, these different kinds of media literacy experiences, are potentially transformative for young people, especially young people in urban, low resource schools and low resource communities. And we're seeing changes in a sense of agency, where kids are feeling more of a sense of, I can identify problems that matter to me and to my community, and I can start to imagine, to take action. I can start to investigate on using the internet and information. And in the case of Lissa, I can take action, some action.
I think one of the things I'm excited about is we know through the work we've done with the Youth and Participatory Politics Research Network that there's a lot of potential for digital media to give young people voice and agency, but we also know they need support, and I would say a lot of us need support. There are challenges with understanding the credibility of information, which we've seen come out in some of the recent election news. There are challenges about conflict and talking about politics online. And so it's sort of exciting to see teachers take this on. I think there's a lot of work to be done outside of schools, but I also think that there's work to be done inside of schools. And we see some teachers working within serious constraints, but still managing to engage their young people in online dialogue, which seems to be really making a difference in how they practice it and how they think about it, and helping them really think about how to use the internet as a tool for investigation, not just passive consumption.
You know, I would love to hear a quick story or two about what kinds of things that young people have become excited about.
Well, there's one of the classrooms that I looked at was doing a lot of coding. And this is a pretty low resource school in Oakland. It's one of the few computer science classes in Oakland. And the students were learning coding. They were going to hackathons. They were going to tech camps in the summer. The teacher had a bunch of guest teachers come in from the tech industry. And what was really interesting is I was talking to one girl who had done a lot of these activities, and she was really seeing herself as someone who could transform the tech industry. She saw herself as someone who could, as a person of color, as a person from her community, that she had ideas and perspectives that were important, an important contribution to the tech industry. And she had the skills to begin to actually realize that.
That'll be a good story to follow up in a few years, I bet.
Yes.
So a couple things that I really enjoyed seeing. So I followed three classrooms, and in one of the classrooms, the teacher, who didn't have a lot of comfort with technology, was starting to bring in collaborative tools, having her students work collaboratively on Google Docs and somewhat publish things on Youth Voices. But one of the things I kept hearing from students as they were able to use these collaborative tools was how it was interesting to see what other students had to say and how rarely they got to see those things, and how it was helping them sort of see that things were hard for other students or that they were interested. So that was sort of exciting, just to see a really simple move open up classroom dialogue in that way. And then the other part was as young people were using the internet to reach out to elected officials or to publish their perspectives on issues, we were hearing things like, I have this great quote from one student, which I don't have in front of me, but talking about how they already knew how to use technology, but they were learning how to use it for power. So the idea to put their voices out there. Or another student talking about feeling like an author for the first time and that other people were reading what they had to say. And so classrooms, especially in urban communities where resources are low to get outside of the classroom, the internet can really provide a lot of opportunities to bridge beyond those walls.
Forgive me for doing this backwards, but I forgot to introduce you. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit of context around what it is that you're doing?
Sure.
So my name is Chris Evans, and I'm a researcher at the Civic Engagement Research Group at Mills College. I've been working on this initiative with Ellen for a number of years called the Educating for Democracy in the Digital Age in Oakland. I'm also a researcher on the Youth and Participatory Politics Research Network. I have, over the years, gotten more and more interested in the idea of digital civic imagination and how do we support young people to begin to draw on the skills and tools that they already have, and what additional skills and experiences do they need to be able to really imagine solutions to problems that matter to them. And I have gotten a chance to do interviews with students who had no support to do that, and more recently in Oakland to do interviews with kids who had different kinds of supports. And it's been really amazing and exciting to see those imaginations in action. So that's been the focus of my work.
And I'm Ellen Middaugh. I'm an assistant professor of child and adolescent development at San Jose State University. And I worked for a number of years with the Mills College Civic Engagement Research Group. I've been affiliated with the Digital Media and Learning Initiative from pretty much early on in the process. So it's had a major influence on my work. I've studied youth civic engagement for a long time, and I'm also I'm starting to broaden my research to look at how the role of parents and teachers in how they balance protections about risk with supporting creativity and striking the balance between those two things.
Wonderful. Sounds like it's going to shape up to be a great workshop.
Thank you so much. We're excited. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Bye, Howard.